What's up?
That's a whole other. That's what you doing, brother? Why you recording me?
Let's go. All right. We are back. Let me put on my. No, I'm just playing. Okay, we are back with another discussion at the Listeners Organization. You guys already know who I am by now. We have a special guest. He's been hiding, but he finally out, and he came out stepping. We're finally in most states and cities in the United States. We're finally, breaking out of or moving away from the quarantine. Restrictions are going down and all that good stuff. So during the quarantine, a lot of people viewed the quarantine as a crisis, as a tragedy. So I wanted to talk about something about during tragedies and crisis, the opportunities, the hidden opportunities within tragedies and crisis. That incident is now have pushed you and your family. So that, and you mentioned one thing, mindset. Now, there's a lot of people, it all begins in the mind. So we all will go through things in life, good and bad, that's life. But the only difference with people is we see things different. And based on how we see things, that is called our mindset. The mindset that you have will determine how you see a situation. So let's go all the way back to the Bible. We had David.
Fun fact.
We had David, and we had a whole bunch of people. They had a giant. They called him Goliath. Everybody saw the giant, and everybody was like, man, yo, this guy's gonna kill us, chop our neck off. But David, instead of seeing Goliath for Goliath, he saw that it was an opportunity to become king. Because he knew if he could kill that giant, that would place him in position to be in the kingdom. So look how one person saw it, oh my God, this is a monster, no one could kill him. And the next was like, yo, this is my ticket out. So a lot of times when we're faced with the situation we're faced, we look like, why me? Why did I have to lose my job? Why did this have to happen to me? But a lot of times the situations, the quote unquote bad situations, are blessing in disguise. One of the illustrations that's always used when it comes to this topic is the diamond. When you find a diamond, it's not buffed, it's not cut, it's not shiny. It's like a piece of coal. And then it's when you find it and then you buff it, you cut it, you do all this stuff, then it becomes a diamond itself. So that's like life. A lot of times opportunities will present themselves to us in a way where it's not beautiful. It's nasty, it makes you uncomfortable. But then if you look at the bright side of that opportunity, that is when you can truly unlock the true potentials. I want to share, and our media team will definitely put the graphic up. Now the word in Chinese for crisis, because in Chinese they use symbols for their words. They use two symbols for the word crisis, and this is a symbol danger and a symbol opportunity. So within every crisis, there's danger and there's opportunity. So, but a lot of us, based on the mindset that we have, we tend to see the danger or the bad in it, but we never look at the opportunities in it. Like for someone who lost their job, they might get depressed and sad, but they don't see that maybe it's an opportunity to do something new. Maybe it's an opportunity to go in a new direction. And I'm speaking about this because this week, I wanted to make this the topic this week because it's crazy. I was dealing with two people, and I do business consultation as well. And two things happened to their business that seemed to be for the bad, for not in their benefit. But I was like, if you look at it, that thing that just happened to your business, how do you know it's not saving you from making a decision that could have crippled your whole business? Because a lot of time we just tend to focus on why me? Why is this not happening? But like I said, again, if you look at the if you take the time to look within the crisis or look into whatever the situation you're going through, you will find that there's an opportunity. So what is a a better time to talk about this, I thought, which is now. A lot of us, the pandemic, yes, we're in the last leg, but it's not over. So there's still opportunities, hidden opportunities within what we went through. I already see a bunch of it. It's so much new people now. It's like, you know what? I lost my job during this time, this and this and that, that forced them to start a new business. I see a whole bunch of people starting businesses. The government was able to give out so much money, whether it was through forgivable loans, stimulus, whatever it may be. So, but I do also hear there a group that's moping around and be like, dang man, like America's never gonna be the same. Look, the government gave out so much money, now prices of everything's gonna go up. And they're just so focused on the negative that they're not able to see the new opportunities that this pandemic have brought. Anyone want to say something when it comes to like basically seeing the opportunities within times of trouble, darkness, or anyone want to say something about it?
I mean, I've been on both sides of it. I remember when I first started FP, it was literally
everything FP, huh?
But no, that's the I need you to understand that's the pinnacle of it all.
Yeah.
I remember like when the earthquake happened, I remember my grandfather had died from the earthquake, and I was like, I never got to meet him. I only got to hear his voice over the phone.
Yeah.
I remember whenever he got the chance to speak to me, he'd always speak words of encouragement. So I always felt like around that time, like I had to figure out like what I wanted to do with my life. So I have that as a pinnacle for somebody who's kind of inspiring me for me to do. So when it came down to figuring out what I did, I was like, the only thing that stayed consistent in majority of my life was taking pictures. So I remember I knew that taking pictures was the only avenue that God wanted me to take. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna do production. So when FP came about, it was around like 2019 when I like finally started taking FP to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
So then by 2020, we reached March, the pandemic hits, and I'm like just now hitting the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So now everything's shut down. I can't really do nothing because you can't take pictures if there's a whole pandemic going on.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, yo, like maybe this is a sign to like stop, or like maybe it's just like halted.
Yeah.
And I remember for a good month or two, I was just like, yo, kid, I was right there, like the door was getting ready to open, I was ready to take off. And then I remember it was like one night I just sat there and I really thought about it. I was like, yo, what did I have to offer and who was I? And then that's when I started to realize, like, yo, I could have continued growing, but the issue would have been that in the midst of me growing, I wouldn't have grown as much as I'd had the much time that I had in the pandemic to learn half the things I learned. I think at first it was like irritating, like, yo, kid, I want to, you feel me? I just started, I got my equipment, let's go, let's get the ball rolling. And then I realized, like, I don't know as much as I thought I did. I didn't understand as much as I thought I did. Because, like, the avenue that I was in, and the avenue that I wanted to go, there was a lot more to it than I thought there was into it.
Yeah, I want to connect a lot of the pieces because there was a lot being said. One of the goals of, like, this discussion, and one of the things I will continuously repeat is I know everyone won't really have, like, a deep understanding of how our mind work, but we have something, and I've used it before, our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is the part of our mind that basically is always absorbing knowledge of our surrounding, what we hear, and all that stuff. And the reason why that part of our mind is important, it is because it's responsible for making more than half of our decisions. So basically, subconsciously, meaning unaware, when you're not aware, there's a lot of decisions and things you're doing that is happening from your subconscious mind. And one way to do that, our subconscious mind, it could be trained. Having a mind, and that's where the mindset comes in. And then when you guys mentioned the whole, like, okay, a lot of people, they don't train their subconscious mind to be positive because they're like, yo, like, you're delusional. Yeah. Like, they'll tell you, like, okay, accept the world for what it is. So basically, if everyone's dying, everyone's dying. They will never see, like, nothing more than what's in front of them. Yeah. And that do not allow them to basically see beyond what they are in. And there's no way you can train your subconscious mind. There's no way you can train your subconscious mind in a positive way if it's only what you see. I wanted to mention an incident. Most of the time when you see someone, well, especially from personal experience, I can say that one of the experience I've been through that's really touched me was the church I go to. I attend, and I know a few of us here attend Tabernacle of Glory. And I remember being at the church. We was in, like not too small of a room, but it was only a few people could fit. A few, maybe like 200-300 people. And it was when one day a fire broke out in the kitchen. A fire broke out in the kitchen, and most people would panic. I know, like, oh my God. The fire marshals and people came and it was like, yo, you guys cannot have church in this building, because it was a safety hazard because of the exits and all that stuff. So it was like, wow. And one Sunday it was like, yo, stop this church. Y'all can't have church no more. And it was crazy. But the leader we had at that time, he was able to see the blessing within the tragedy. Yeah. So from a lot of people would just like, okay, yo, look, we can't have church no more. But from there, I can tell you what that happened. I think 4 years ago, 2014. If I'm not 24. Sorry, that happened over like 5-6 years ago, or some time ago. But today, that incident, we are building a church over $16 million. Coming from a room, the church is almost completely done. I think we have a few months left, and it cost $16 million. We went from a church that was in a small room. 200-300 people to building a church worth $16 million in a span of less than 10 years. And that was because the leader of that church saw, okay, wow, there's an opportunity for growth. Another incident, this organization, we started off with a project called Hear My Cry. From Hear My Cry, we started doing Dream Big Luncheon. But during the quarantine, it was like, dang, we didn't have this space. We was not doing discussions. During the quarantine, it was like, man, everything we were doing got to put to a stop. We used to go to schools to present the Hear My Cry. We used to go to different houses for the Dream Big Luncheon. So everything stopped. And it was like, man, like, what are we going to do? And then the people that was a part of the team was like, you know what? I brought an opportunity that came about to the point like, look, now we got a space where like we can do things like that. Like a lot of things happen in this room. There's deals that get cut in this room. One just happened a moment ago. Like, look, we were able to sponsor. Come show it because we made history today. Come, you gotta come introduce. Look, this is our first signee, official signee. We signed him to a deal. The organization is gonna be sponsoring him for his gaming. So today, the organization, myself and other partners was able to buy him a gaming computer, monitors, all that. A few $1,000s, but good. A few thousand. But it's good though. But look, before the quarantine, I tell you, the organization, we didn't have even $500. And to the day, not only we got a place, not only we got a whole bunch of stuff going on, we're able to sign a young guy, backing him up for a few thousand. And we haven't even been in quarantine for 2 years because we saw something. We've done projects like, the quarantine even pushed us to do a fundraiser. We had no money. That fundraiser brought us close to like $7,000. And we would have got more, but we ended it a little early due to the quarantine. So that was $7,000 we didn't have. And we started off with zero during the quarantine. So it's because we saw an opportunity. It was like, okay, we can't do the Dream Big Luncheon. We can't go to the schools and present because everything's shut down. What's next? A lot of people, when those things happen, like they go in the shell. Like, no, you gotta what can you do in this time? Like, what is the opportunities? Because every time have an opportunity. One thing about life, we are all gonna go through bad times. Like I know a lot of people say, only thing in life that's promised is death. That's not the only thing that's promised. One thing, if you're alive, that's promised, you're gonna go through bad times. And you will come to find out the people who do make it, the people who do stand out, is the people that take those bad times and they do something, they turn it into a positive. Like I could tell you stories for days when it comes to me, but I ain't gonna do that. But I think many of us in this room have those incidents, but still, even though you've been through this, sometimes we do forget. Like when you're in the bad times, sometimes you can forget to look for that positive. Like, This guy right here, I'm telling you, if we let him talk, he gonna say one thing.
That's a fact.
He gonna, hey, tell the people what you
complete.
Tell the people that one word. Just tell them that one word.
Focal.
That's it.